Hey, everybody, it's Anthony Brogdon, your main man on the one and twos. And oh my God, I got a guy, and this is an international interview. He is in Germany, and we're going to talk about that. Black man in Germany with the kind of consciousness that he has. I know he's tearing them people up, and we want to find out how it is to live there and so much more. I'm Anthony Brogdon, and this is Strong Inspirations, where I give it to you straight, no chaser, to intoxicate your mind through the people who come on this show. Let me tell you something about this gentleman. We were supposed to do the interview a week ago. I had some problems, so on and so forth. What have you, Nothing personal. That's stuff that went down that day. And he called me today. And between then and now, I had gone out of town. I was in Alabama. He was on my mind. He called me. He said, man, what's the deal with you, man? Come on. I got to come on the show and tell what I got to tell. I'm so impressed with that. And I'm impressed on two fronts. One front is that he wants to do it. And on the other front, that he feels enough about me to want to do it with me in that way. I like what I'm doing here as Strong as I'm excited about this. This kind of came out of nowhere over 4 years ago, my brothers and my sisters around the world, and I'm jamming through the people who come on here. I'm a better person. I have learned so much, and you're going to learn something from what this gentleman is going to share and his opinions and thoughts and so on and so forth. It's mind-blowing. And so, like I said, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. There is no love button. Hit the notifications bell. You get dinged, shot, your lights flicker, something to let you know there's new content on Strong Inspirations. And do tell somebody. Don't do it. How about that? Don't do that. And tell somebody about us. Let it flow. I really appreciate it. Because did you see the one I did with the guy who talks about what good Black history is and how we need to celebrate it? Watch that video. Did you see the one I did with the brother that talks about what Rastafarian is? He explains it, and Ethiopia and so much more. Watch that video. Did you see the one I did with the guy who has set up his own political party? He's had some candidates run because he wants to see another perspective being brought to American people. Watch that video. See what I'm trying to tell you is don't just look at what's on the main page. Go to the line that says videos and scroll down. And I've done my best to explain what the video is. But and do it that way, my friend. And you in those classrooms, in the schools, it's free Black history. So watch it with the students. Move the cursor. Get away from me. I don't care. Just I want them to have this. And I'm dead serious about it. So much so I've done a documentary myself titled Business in the Black.net. It is streaming on Amazon. The Rise of Black Business in America. Here it is. And I took it one step further and I did a book on it titled Black Business Book. It is America's #1 Black business history book. You got to read this. And it is on my website, which also tells you about my speaking engagements. I'm more doing that now. And I'm blowing minds along the way. But go to businessintheblack.net. Now you hear me use this term strong a lot. Strong, my favorite word. And in my world, strong stands for strength, tenacity, resilience, and a sense of oneness, nobility, and grace. And that is my introduction to the strong brother on the show today. Come on, man. Let's get it on.
Hey, how's it going, brother? How's everything?
Good. Thank you for being on with me.
And it's an honor and a privilege to be with you on this day. We tried to get up with you a couple days ago, but everything was good. We understand how everything works out. My name is Rick Holland. I'm here in Hanau, Germany, originally from Maryland, and spent some time in the military And after my time was done, went back to the U.S., came back to Germany, and been here ever since. I would say over 30 years. Right.
Really? Okay, we're gonna talk about that. So let's go so the audience gets to know you a little bit more than what you just shared. Where in Maryland were you born and raised?
A place called Calvert County, small place on the Chesapeake Bay.
Near
Right.
what big city?
Well, we're closer to Washington, D.C.,
Okay.
35 miles from D.C., 53 miles from Baltimore. So, being from Maryland, we hung out more in the D.C. area.
Okay.
Sometimes in Virginia, we didn't go to Baltimore that much. But
Is it a black neighborhood that you grew up in?
that's the thing, right? I read the census about Calvert County, and I think like in the late 1800s, it was predominantly Alkebulan American, right? And I say Alkebulan American because Africa, we don't say Africa, we call it Alkebulan by its original name, right? So we don't want to give anybody any props for naming something, giving it their name when that's not what's going on. So
Okay.
in the late 1800s, it was predominantly black. But because the prime the land, the real estate, eventually the black folks or the Alkebulan Americans started moving out, and they started going to places like DC and Maryland. So the European Americans, they came in and they started to buy up all the land. So right now everything has switched. So
I
everything
got you.
changed, right?
I
So
got you.
where once upon a time we was on the Chesapeake Bay doing our thing in Maryland, in Calvert County, just just having a good time. They
Yeah,
left, and now everybody else came in and
I got you.
us out.
Yeah, so now so you grew up around all black people? Did you play with white kids or what was that dynamic?
Well, the thing is, we were it was integrated,
Okay.
but back then, like when my brother went to school, the school was uh, it was probably 20% black folks.
Oh, okay.
And so when I went, the numbers just started to go down. So it was a little bit more white folks than blacks. But I left home when I was 17, right?
I got you. I got you.
So
I got you.
it's not because things was that bad. It was just that I was focusing on something else, even at a young age. I wanted to see something different. So I was always one of those individuals where I didn't want to stay in one place. I wanted to see what this world had to offer. And
Okay.
through that, of course, you learn a lot about you
I
because
got you.
stay fixed in if you stay in your environment because of what the system has done and the safeguards that the system has put up to protect it from you knowing exactly who you are.
I
You
got you.
that out, right?
Let me say this. That leads to my next question. Were you taught Black history growing up? Where did you hear it?
We didn't. We didn't. We didn't get that, right? So it came later in life, but instinctively you know that is there.
Yeah, I
You
got you.
have a culture. You understand these things.
Let me ask you this. Did you think white people were better than black people?
Yeah, sure.
Really?
Yeah, sure. Sure. Because that's what you're surrounded by. Now you have a lot of folks who will say, well, I can't believe that, or it's not that way. But it is that way. And to be honest with you, we still feel uh, uh, the remnants of that today, the residuals of that today. You see it all over, even though we can say that, I'm not like that, but we are like that
All
because
right.
once we get deeper into this, then I'll explain to you why.
Okay. Let me ask you this then. With that in mind, did the teachers ever do anything to you that was racist? Were you ever called the N word?
Uh, not directly, but sometimes it's not what a person says that you have to be aware of, it's what they don't say in their actions.
I got you.
It's how they act. And you can't, you may not call it racism, but look at what you're taught in school. You're taught about everything except for you. So
That's right.
what are they doing?
I got you. Let me ask you this then. Now, just a little bit on you and your family. Where's the enslavement at? Do you know that? Where's the Southern connection? That kind of thing.
No, I surely don't.
Okay. Because now, so how did your family get to this town? How did y'all get there? What was
Well,
the employer or whatever?
see, I'm studying that right now. So I'm looking at the family history and the lineage. Now, when I look at my father's his lineage, right, and his family, they were mostly European Americans, right? So my grandfather was in American Indian, and my grandmother, it looks from what I see, she could have been biracial, American Indian and Alkebulan American, right?
Well,
So what happens is from my grandmother, from my grandmother Henry and Rebecca, my grandfather Henry, he was very light, and he had the features of American Indian. My grandmother Rebecca, she was darker, right? So she had more Alkebulan DNA in her than my grandfather. Now, once I go beyond them and I go back to Jameson and Louisa, this is where things get sort of tricky because my great grandfather, he was a little bit lighter, right? So getting more into the European DNA.
right.
And my grandmother, she was biracial. Okay, now follow on this. So Louisa, her maiden name was Wilburn. So her father uh, was a Wilburn, but he was European, right? Now, my great great grandmother, Louisa's mother, check this out. She was straight up Alkebulan American. But when he passed away, we found that his other wife was straight up European American. So what was he doing? He had a European American wife, and he had my great great grandmother.
I got you. Where did
So
they live? Where did they live?
they all
You know?
lived. They all lived in Maryland.
Oh,
But
in Maryland. Okay.
know them, and we're trying to find out what happened to the Wilburn family because we want to know where this story, where it actually leads.
I got you.
But
Well, what did your father do for a living?
he was self-employed. He was a carpenter. Excuse me. He
Oh, okay.
masonry and all this. Yeah, he did. He was a pretty smart guy. He said he wasn't going to work for anybody, so he did for himself. You know.
Oh, okay. I want to go back to stay on this just a tad bit more. Did you do a lot of fishing and stuff growing up? You were right there on the bay. What did y'all kids do to play?
We did whatever we could find that would entertain us, fishing and stuff like that. But I wasn't home long enough to really, really do a whole lot of that because back then my father said, "Hey, you know what? You don't have time for sports and stuff like this. We got to work. So we have to make sure that this family stays intact." So on Saturdays and Sundays, where we were working. When we got home from school, we did our homework, we did our chores, and it's time to go to bed, right?
You was working in his business, or what working were you doing?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, I see. I see. So you know carpentry,
Yeah,
that kind of thing. Yeah, that was your deal.
yeah, sure.
Okay, okay. Uh, um, And so, what led you to be who you are? What led you to think of the world like you did? Did somebody say something to you that there's a world outside of this?
My ancestors, our ancestors, those 20 or so Alkebulan folks who were brought to America, and not as slaves, because I don't use that term. They were never slaves. It was, they were captured and they were put in involuntary servitude, right? So we have to go back and we have to honor those people, because to understand who we are, we have to understand who they were. And that's the thing that brought me to this point, right? And not only that, but there was one more thing. And I know it may sound a bit strange. You can find out who you are by taking yourself out of an environment, going into another, and see how well you work in that environment. And being in Germany has taught me more about being an Alkebulan American man than I ever found out in the United States.
All right, we're gonna stay on that just a tad, but I wanna delve into this more. So when you were 17, you did what? You left the house to go to college, go to the military.
I was military.
What branch?
I was an engineer.
But what branch? The Navy, Army?
I was Army engineer.
And they sent you overseas?
Yeah. I left Fort Leonard Wood. I went to Fort Hood, Texas. I left Fort Hood. I went to Korea. I came back to Fort Hood. I went to Korea. I came back to Fort Hood, went to Fort Sill, because then I changed to artillery. I went into fire direction, and then I came to Germany.
So you never saw any combat. I shouldn't ask as a question. Did you ever see combat?
I was in the Persian Gulf War, the first Persian Gulf War, 1991, yeah.
I hope you don't mind that. Did you ever have to shoot?
We didn't have to directly shoot anyone, but artillery, if you have to shoot someone directly, then you have issues. So being artillery, we shot a whole lot of ammunition downrange. So, and you know what you're doing, right? So when you're shooting artillery on anything, you know you are producing casualties.
And you how old at this point?
62.
No, you ain't 60. How old were you? How old were you?
At that point,
yeah.
I would say I was probably about in my 25, 26, something like that. Somewhere around there.
When a lot of times we'll say this, that and not just black kids, but in general, let's say because we are, go to the military so it helps you become a man. It helps you understand structure and stuff like that. Did that do that for you?
You learn a lot. But as far as becoming a man and learning a structure, there's two organizations that's fully responsible for that. That is your home, your family, and normally the church. If you have to go into the military to learn how to be a man or to learn structure or anything else, it's that's sad. That's I don't know if that is really what it's all about. You learning it. It's a good occupation. You learn something. You can see the world. Okay, all these things are good, but there are also you're defending something that I would say doesn't really care about you.
Yeah, because I mean, back in the day, and you know, as we talk about it in the wars and stuff, World War I, II, the black soldiers went over there, and I just came from Tuskegee and the Tuskegee Airmen, and they got no respect when they got back home, and it was shocking.
And that's the thing. That's why, you know, I don't want to say that, you know, the experience was bad, But what I will say is you have to put everything into perspective. Sometimes you have to also comfort yourself by saying, okay, this is what it did for me. But I don't know whether that is credible or not. I don't know whether you're being honest with yourself.
Okay, right? What did it do for you?
Not a whole lot.
Really?
Not really a whole lot. Because what you're trying to do is you have folks who join the Army because of patriotism. I joined the military because I saw my brothers go in. One of my brothers went to Vietnam. The other one, he volunteered for the Army. So I saw them go in and I said, this could be something. But was I expecting that in the end, someone from a different race was going to treat me different just because I joined the Army? I never had that thought.
Oh, really?
Yeah, why, what would make me think that because you join the Army and you're going to work with individuals from different cultures and different nationalities, different religions, what would make me think that just because I'm in the Army with them or I'm working with them or I have to defend them, I have to, in some cases, be willing to give my life for him? Right. What make me think after that's over that he's going to come and see me in a different environment and tell me that he loves me?
Right.
Why would I think?
Okay, did you face racism while you were in the military?
Again, any environment that you're in that you're not in control of, that you have to be a part of that environment, sure, there's racism there, but it's all masked, right?
I got you.
So to say that it isn't, sure it is.
Yeah, I got you.
But it has to be kept controlled in a controlled environment, right?
Are you? And I'm taking liberties in the hope, and I'm asking this just to get to a point of what we want to talk about. Are you a militant?
What is militant?
What I mean is, are you rah black guy?
No.
I mean, because of the shirt you have on, because of the hat you have on, because of the picture you have. Did the military make you be this kind of way, or are you already there and this is you expounding on that?
It has nothing to do with being a militant. This has something to do with showing respect and honor to our ancestors and being culturally aware. I'm in Germany, right? So you know, as far as being racist and all this, how could that be? It has nothing. Racism is a tool that's employed on the uneducated majority, right? They can't use racism on the educated minority. They have to use racism with the uneducated majority because it works. So you take the uneducated majority, and when all else fails, you say that these folks are the ones that's the reason for your problem, right? So they get the uneducated majority riled up, and in a democracy, what happens? The majority wins, right? So this whole thing, everything that's going on, it has a little to do with race. It has to do with gaining strength for me to have power. And who do I use to get power? Well, in a democracy, I have to use the majority of the people. So the majority of the people, as long as I keep them uneducated and I employ these tactics that I can throw gas on this situation and say that they're the reason why. And what is everybody going to do?
Okay. Okay. I'm with you there. So, yo, let me ask you this, and let's see how I get to this. So you over in Germany, you telling people these stories? What are you walking around black and I'm proud when it's only 2% of you? How do you do your day to day in Germany?
But that's what they want. The German folks, they don't care about us walking around because they know our history. They know what we've been through.
Is that right?
All these people, they don't have those crazy hangups. They do not have these hangups. Like, I was talking to some other brothers, and we were having a conversation about parents have to talk to their kids about if the police get behind you and all this stuff. And I'm like, well, I said, is that really normal? See, I'm here, right? We don't have those conversations. We don't need to have those.
Really? Oh, really? Okay.
What reason? Why do I need to do that? Here, people treat you like you're human. If you act like a butt, they're going to treat you like a butt.
Oh, I got you. Okay, so so you can integrate into society real well. There's for the yeah, leave that as the question.
Yeah, they do not have those hangups like we have in America. Why are they sending folks here to teach the Germans at this point in time to be racist, to elect this party or to get this party in office? The German folks said, we don't want them in office. We want to give everybody a chance. Yeah, they're trying to reform now because of these things that's been happening lately. But I've never had anyone here call me the N word. I've never. They don't throw it around like that.
So can a black person there ascend to the presidency maybe and or to high levels in corporate America, do you think?
Here you can do anything you want to. Here you can do anything you want to. In this country, I talk to folks that come over, and they talk about insurance and all these things. In this country, everybody has insurance. Everybody does. You can go to the doctor, have major surgery, and you may pay maybe $5.
No kidding.
It is a social system. It is a social democratic system. You hear a lot of people talk about socialism and all this and all this. Germany is social.
So can so you can live anywhere you want to live. If you can afford it, you can live there.
You can live anywhere you want to, and whatever you want to do. You go to the clubs. You with Europeans. You do whatever you want to, and it's not only here, but from where we're located, it's probably about 2.5 hours from Holland. You drive from here to Holland, and it gets even better. So it's the European mentality. You drive from here, you go to Denmark. It gets even better.
Oh, really? Is that one of the appeals for you to want to stay there while you went back?
I can't say that. I can't say that. I can only say is that for the ones of us who are here, if folks would have more conversation with us, I think it would change things for them, because we're looking at the root of the European society all over the world. They came from Europe. They came out of South Africa and they came into Europe, and then they started to migrate, to put it mildly. So right now, we sort of understand how all this has worked out, right? So what we're saying to Alkebulan American folks is that the system that you're in there, it's not glorified, or it's not adapted by most European countries, right? So
how does it feel being, if I may ask you, when you go out, you only see but a handful of Black people. How does that feel?
I don't pay any attention to it. When I go shopping, the majority of the time, I am the only Black person in the store. You're greeted with good morning, goodbye, hello, how you doing? If you stand there and you strike up a conversation with the folks, they'll stand there and talk to you.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I've heard in certain instances, and little kids never saw a Black person. They want to run up and touch what your hair looks like and all that. Have you ever had that type of occurrence?
No, not ever. I work with young kids. I teach them sports, and they're German kids, and we have a real good time, because not only are they learning the sport, they're learning a lot about our culture.
Oh, so that is one of the things you do. You will spend time telling them about what?
I don't have to tell them about me being a Black person. They know that. They want to find out if what the narrative was, or what is been portrayed, if it's actually true.
Okay, I got you there.
Is you get these 10, 11, 12-year-old kids to come out. You're teaching them sports. And all of a sudden they come in, they sitting down, and you having a conversation.
Let me stop right there. Is it basketball or soccer or football? What are you teaching?
American football.
Okay, all right.
So you're teaching them things, and they really look at you like you are someone special, just by teaching and working with them, because it teaches them, or they may have been taught to be afraid of something,
right?
And now they figure, well, why do I need to be afraid of him? Why?
I got you.
He's doing more for me than the other people around. So
I got you.
So you're changing a culture through just by doing things, and that's what we do. We're representing us. It has nothing to do with being a militant or anything. I'm no blacker than anyone else.
I got you. When you say us, how many of them how many are Black people over in your town, would you say? And what have you?
There's probably 300 or 400 in this small city. And then you go to places like Frankfurt, you go to places like Munich. We're all scattered out, and a lot are residuals from the military, when the military left. Right. And let's not forget, you have a bunch of also Alkebulan individuals here from Nigeria and Ghana and the Ivory Coast and all that. So it's a bunch of folks here, but basically we're working, the Alkebulan Americans, we work together.
I got you. How do you get culture? In the music, in the entertainment, that kind of thing.
again, I'm sorry.
Yeah, like how do you get culture? Do you celebrate Black History Month? Do you can you find Black History books, the music with the black artists, that kind of thing? Is that only through streaming services? Whatever.
Not too far from here, I think probably about 5 minutes. They have a place in Hanau called the Jazz Keller. You got to remember, Hanau was home to about uh, probably about 65,000 soldiers, and I would say 70 to 80% of those soldiers was Alkebulan American soldiers.
Okay, I got you.
Our area. So, and to be straight with you, who do you think the women wanted? If they wanted a European looking man, then they would have married a German. So who do you think they wanted? Who did you think they wanted to hang out with?
Yeah, I got you. Okay, I can dig that. I can dig that.
I'm just being straight with it.
That was gonna be part of my questioning too. Is what was your relationships like that?
I don't want to tell the folks anything, and then they say, well, this is all garbage, because it is. And the thing of it is, what we wear, what we have on, this has nothing to do with militant. It has something to do with we know who our ancestors are.
I love it.
Representing them.
I love it. Where did you get that T-shirt from?
This is our design. This is our design, and to be honest with you, we have made the first flag for the Alkebulan American people, not the Pan-African flag, not the flag that Marcus Garvey is for everyone dark skin, right? We have a flag just for us.
Who is we?
Our organization, Black Businessmen International.
And what is that?
Excuse me?
What is it? Tell us about it.
That organization, me being in Europe, what I have found out is in this country, I would say, for our presence, the presence that we had in Germany, you probably have 2 or 3 Black business owners in this country, right? So what I was looking at, and I was asking, why do we not have more Alkebulan American businesses, not only in Germany, but in European countries, because of the culture that we have? So if you want to go to a restaurant and you want to get soul food, you know who you want to see serving that food, right? But here you don't see that. So I was looking, why are we not there? I see products. They have a product that's called Four Bros. It's got the number 4, and then it's got BRO''S. Four Bros. It sounds like, if I buy a box of that tea, I would think who would be manufacturing or making it. But see, that's not the case. So everybody is using our culture and our identity to create wealth, except for us. Our culture stays in the confines of the United States of America.
So let me ask you, what you're saying is there's a white company that did some 1 or 2 or otherwise Black products,
yeah,
to appeal to the white people,
yeah, and they think it's
because they have an affinity for wanting something that's Black.
Yeah, sure. There you go.
Oh my God. And so is our music popular over there?
Oh man, you saw Kendrick Lamar. You see what he's done. That's what they do. The hip hop scene in Europe, that's number 1. But you don't see us doing it, right?
So they like the music, but they have their own white artists that perform the music.
But that's not. It's not because of it's what they want. It's because of what the system will only allow that, right? The thing of it is, think about it. If you came to Europe and you started a business, for the first year, you may be using US currency to support that business. After that, what would you be doing? Then you would be making the local currency. And when you start doing that, it gives you the right to be a part of the system, depending on how much money you're making, right? So let's say you come to Germany and you start a business and you start out, even 10 years later, you're making 5 or 6 million a year. You have now become a part of that economy. So they have their ways to prevent us from going outside of the United States and representing ourselves monetarily, socially, economically, personally, and professionally. That's not what they want. But the Europeans, they don't care.
So are you the founder of this organization?
Yes.
And how long you been in existence?
Right now, we've been in existence for about 4 or 5 years.
And you all have a monthly, weekly meetings or something? Is it like a Black Chamber of Commerce? Would you assume something like that?
Basically, yes. We have meetings every Sunday with our board, and we're trying to get some things taken care of that everybody understands what's going on. Because you got to understand, I'm sitting at a different vantage point. I see things just a little bit differently. And since the other board members are in the United States, and when you're in that environment, sometimes you become comfortable in that environment and it doesn't allow you to think outside of the box, right? You can't really be a visionary, because yet and still the system says what you can and cannot do, how you can think. That you better not have those thoughts about being more than we allow you to be, right? So at this point in time in my life, me personally, I'm really a free man.
Okay. Now, the organization itself, you have members around the world?
We do. We're working in Alkebulan. We are establishing relationships, or we have established relationships in the United States, of course. So we're spreading out, right? And the only thing we're doing is we're trying to get the word out to Alkebulan American entrepreneurs. Hey, get on a plane, come to Europe, and look at investment opportunities. See what you can do, because what you really want to do is you want to become a part of those systems. What we don't need anyone to represent the 35 or 40 million of us. We need to do that ourselves. We have seen in the election that America said one thing: we want a divorce. America wants a divorce from the Alkebulan American people. And we have to be smart enough to accept that and say, okay, the relationship was good, if you will, for the last 400 and some odd years. But what we need to do is we need to go and we need to do things on our own. We need to do things for ourselves.
Yeah, I love it.
Find out who, and then we can move on. I would never tell anyone, to pack up and leave America. I would never say that. And to be honest with you, even though we know the situation, we have all, we fought with white folks. We fought with European Americans. We've died with them. But we do understand that, there is not a whole lot of love there, and there is a thin line to it when you have that relationship, because if you say one thing wrong, then you'll find out, who people really and truly are. So the thing of it is, it's not about hating them. It's about us finally having the right to say that we love us. It's not about us saying that we're going to disrespect them. It's about us to say that now we have to start to respect us. We can all live together. Everything is cool. But do me a favor. Just let me go ahead and do my thing, and then we'll be okay. Everybody needs to be put back into their proper order. Alcohol on American folks, there is an order, and we are part of that order. But since we do not get the education, since it's been cut off from us, we don't know where we fit in, where we belong. And then someone.
Would you like more Black people to move to Germany? And in particular, your town?
What I would say is to you is this: if you moved here, it would probably change your perspective about a whole lot of things, right?
Do you miss us back here? Do you come home every so often?
Not often, but do I miss my folks? Yes and no, honestly. And I miss them because they are my people, but I don't miss the ways. I don't miss the I can't or I gotta stay in my lane, or I can't worry. I gotta worry about myself. We are family oriented people. Our true identity was stolen, and somebody else now is using it, and they gave us the worst of them. I don't want to see that. I want to see my people the way they were when I was a child.
Let me ask you this: when you first got there, how long did it take you to understand the different dynamics? Was it like almost instant? Like one day you said, "Oh man, these people are giving me the love that I always thought I deserved," or did it take a moment for you to say, "Man, I really don't feel that tension that I feel in America"?
No, it's not about even if they like you. It's about, are they going to respect you? And not that you have to do anything extra to earn that respect. It's if you go somewhere, if I go in a store and I'm the only dark face in there, how are they going to receive me? And that's the thing, and that's all over. I don't care who likes me or I would ask that you respect me as for being a person.
I got you.
Everything.
I got you. I got you. Well, let me ask you this, then. Do you think some of that lack of or that respect that they have for you is because you're such a minority number? It's so much. It's just a little bit of damage that you can do. If you went out and committed a crime, they said the Black guy, they know what address to go. you follow me? It ain't but 20 of us. It's either the tall guy, the big, what have you. Is that a part of it?
I understand, and those things we can take a look at, and we can sort of come to a conclusion. If it's a rational conclusion or not, I can't really say, but there has been a transformation. And that transformation is that how do we deal with people in general? Where do we want to be? What side of right or wrong, where do we want to be? Do we want to be on the right side, or do we want to be on the wrong side? You have people who have adapted high morals and high values to say, well, there's only one here. How much damage can he do versus 1,000?
Right.
Apply into any group of individuals when you feel that now you were the majority, but now you are the minority. We have to look at the American Indian. How do they feel? But I think if the American Indian would have, or the folks that came in and sort of took everything from them, if they said, you know what, can we have this? We'll give it to you. You do what you got to do, and we're going to do us. As long as you live by the law, obey the law that they have, sure, they would worry, but if I know that now there's 5,000 folks in the neighborhood and they're not going to break in my house and do this and this, why would anybody care? And this
Okay, with that said, when you say the lack of crime, is there crime here?
in Germany.
Yeah.
Well, nobody really has a gun. There's no liquor stores on every corner. And you know, as far as murders and stuff like that, it happens, but it's not something that happens often.
Where are the skinheads?
Excuse me?
Where are the skinheads?
Oh, the ones with the long hair now?
I don't know. Yeah, is that what it is? Is that what they become?
I've met some of them. I've met some of them.
And what they say to you?
Hey, how's everything? Everything is good with you? I say, yeah, how you doing? Oh, everything is good. What do you not like? Well, we don't like this, we don't like this, we don't like this. Well, you know, some of the things that you don't like, I don't like. Really? Yeah, I don't like lazy people. You don't like lazy people? No, we don't. So who are you against? Well, we're against this and this and this. Well, if what you're against, it's right, then I agree with you. But now let's talk about this. So is it only the foreigners who's lazy? Let's put everything in the perspective. You see, here you can talk to folks. You can have normally those conversations.
Oh, I love it. Okay.
But because the hostility, this is not a hostile environment.
I got you.
You have them there, and you know, they go out and they do crazy things sometimes, but you can talk to them. And I've talked to several of them. They come to me and they confront me, but they don't come to and confront me aggressively.
Which leads to this question as we almost come to a close. When you say they confront you, are you like a community leader? Could you run for political office? Are you that kind of guy over there? Are you that guy? I know you work with the youth. Are you a voice over there? Are you in the newspaper? Do they interview you?
Yeah, often.
Oh, I see now.
Yeah, often. Because of who I represent. I represent our people. I represent my people.
I see. Oh, I love it then. I see what you're doing.
When I represent our people, it's like, okay, let's have these conversations. Let's sit down and let's talk about it.
But so you've been on the news and all that?
Several times, yeah.
What's your name on the? What do they call you?
Rick.
Just Rick. Okay, so it's not like you got alias or something like that.
No, we don't do that. We don't do that.
Yeah, it's not like you know, I mean, I don't know, some kind of alias.
We keep it real. Again, you know, if you come to me with some respect, you know what you're gonna get back. If you come to me sideways, you know what you're gonna get back. So they know that let's approach him this way, and then let's see where it goes from there.
Are you famous?
Excuse me?
Are you famous?
No. By no means. I'm just trying, again, I'm trying to represent the Alkebulan American people the right way. And that's what I'm doing here. And that's what this is all about. This has nothing to do with being a militant or running around. And
I got you.
It has nothing to do with that. I'm only doing and representing what people already know.
I got you. I love it.
Those first 22 Alkebulan folks that was taking 2-point comfort, that those were special people. And that is what this means, that we are special people. This flag behind me, this right here, every year, 20 August, we ring the bell and we display the flag. It's for our folks. And this flag was made for our people.
When you say ring the bell, where? Where?
We go on the river to symbolize our ancestors coming into Point Comfort on the White Lion, the ship. And we go,
Oh, I love it.
yeah, every year.
Can you show us the flag?
Sure.
Yeah.
For our people.
Did you design that?
Yes, sir. We did. Our organization did. And you
And
have 1619, 2019. You have two lions, which represents the tribe of Judah. The large star in the middle represents our God with us, or our ancestors for 400 years. And then we have 4 stars, small stars. The 4 stars represent every 100 years of servitude. And this flag is for our ancestors.
I love it. And again, so the name of the organization you say we is what again?
Black Businessmen International.
Oh man, I love it. And the other flag is just red, black, and green.
This one right here.
No, the one behind you. Yeah.
This one or this one?
Yeah, that one there. Yeah, that one there.
This is the decorated pole for our ancestors.
Oh, it's a pole. Okay, okay, okay.
This is our staff. So we take this out every year, 20 August, and we ring this, we display the flag, and we say a prayer for our good and honorable people whose blood still soaks the soil of the United States of America.
I love it. I see. I got it now. And I guess my viewers. And then, so the last question is, when y'all do this, has the news been out there to report it?
No, we haven't. We've made videos and sent them to the U.S. This year it's going to be larger, and we will get the news involved in it. But I got to tell you, it was so moving the first time that we went out and we did this, because we was displaying this to the world that we do have a culture. We do have an order. We do belong to something. And that something that we belong to has been the biggest contribution to mankind.
I love it.
Those people who died for us on those plantations.
I love it.
If we have nothing else to be proud of, we need to make sure that we honor those folks, because they went through hell to ensure that you and I could be doing this right now.
Well, I got to keep asking, because you're jamming, man, and I'm getting it. When did you decide to do this? Well, how did that thought process go to say, okay, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to find people who think like I do, and so on and so forth?
To be honest with you, perfectly honest with you, I do not know. I only know that it was inspired. It was something that needed to be done. Sometimes when a person stops looking at themselves and step out and take a look outside of themselves, or step outside of themselves and look back in, you start to see things that you would not normally see because you're caught up into it.
I got you.
We have to understand that we belong to something very special. We have been so blessed to be given this. This is the greatest advantage that we have, and that is the color of this skin.
I love it.
That is the greatest advantage. Not knocking anyone else.
Right.
Not to say that anyone else is not special. But what I'm saying is, man, we have so much to be blessed. How is it possible that after all those years, we're still here?
I love it. That last question. How does somebody support your organization and become a member?
www.blackbusinessman-intl.com. I'll send that information out.
Okay.
We're gonna get together again and
okay.
To be honest with you.
Okay.
Come and visit Europe and see really and truly what is going on here, and go back and talk to our people and help them to understand that, man, things are different because you're in that environment and everything is fast.
I got you. I love it. Now, you said August 20th. So is it you all do that in like do you have a dinner or something that is a
We have a traditional alcohol dinner.
I love it.
And this year we're gonna have what we call soul food also. So we're gonna have and we do this with the excuse me, the Alkebulan folks, the African folks. So we come together, and they come with us when we do this because they understand what the situation was and that we all have to come back together. So we do this as a joint venture.
Last question. Is there a question that I have not asked you? Is there something that you wanted to share with us? In the short.
It's only, first of all, it's really a pleasure and being with you
yes.
and doing this. Sometimes it's hard for me to articulate my words because I do speak German and English. Right?
Oh, really? Okay.
Folks, I have to speak German also, which is good. I can't really say that there are bad people. I would say there's bad systems. There's bad practices that makes folks the way that they are, right? And again, we have to understand what the system is doing with the uneducated majority versus the educated minority. We have to all understand that. Coming from the Gulf War, seeing the things that I've seen, doing the things, and again, several times risking your life for folks, and not necessarily wanting them to reciprocate. When it all comes down to it, we are in this mess all together. So what we have to do is it is very important for us to do three things. We got to find, define, and refine. We have to, again, find ourselves. We have to define ourselves, and we have to continue to refine ourselves daily to become as good as we possibly can. And we can only do that through our African ancestors.
Have you written a book?
No, I haven't.
Not written a book. Okay. Well, hey, everybody, man, I told you you're going to like this. I'm going to let you have the last word too one more time. You're going to really like this. So hit the subscribe button on Strong Inspirations. I had an idea, and we got there. And my idea is you an icon. You can't tell me otherwise, man. You are something special. And that's the moral of it. Everybody, did y'all feel that? Hit the like button on this video. There is no love button, but I know you loved it because he's fighting for us to and for the world to understand us and our history. Hit the and tell somebody about Strong Inspiration. I'm more blessed after this interview. I can feel it, man. There's no question. It came through. We got there. And go to his website. It'll be in the description. If there's a way you can support him, I'm sure they would love that and be a part of the organization, so on and so forth. In the battle as they battling, quietly but expeditiously, succinctly. And then go to my website, two people. Go to businessintheblack.net. Get you a copy of the book and learn about there were enslaved Black people who own businesses. And to you, my brother, I say this, and I mean this with all sincerity. I want you to stay strong, stay safe, stay on your grind. I love what you become because you came out in the beginnings off that Chesapeake Bay where all the fish and whatnot, it was beautiful, the water and everything, and said, I got to go to work. I got to learn this carpentry. I got to help my family. I got to get this education. And then I got to figure out what I'm going to do soon as I can and you went into the military to fight on the behalf of strangers here in America to keep the world at peace. And then you took that and said, I'm finding my own peace. And I'm in my peaceness, I'm going to help educate other folk of who I am and my history. This is my moniker. And I know the people respect you for that. That's why you in the newspaper, because you're speaking up. Not viciously, too, as you said to me. So that's a beautiful thing. Do me one more favor. Say goodbye in German.
It's called Auf Wiedersehen.
And do they eat pork and beans for breakfast?
Yeah, since we're here.
Yeah. I remember when I went to what was I? I was in London, and breakfast was pork and beans.
Yeah. Since we're here, a little bit of everything.
Yeah, right on. Do you get to watch American TV? You know what the Redskins are doing, or any of that kind of thing? Because they beat my Lions. I was a little disappointed in that.
I was pulling for the Skins this year, the Commanders this year, but Jalen Hurts, good young man, got a raw deal in Alabama. He came through. He did what he needed to do.
Yeah, so you know what's going on. Hey, my brother, I'll be in touch. To stay in touch. I'm coming over there, and we'll talk offline. I like that kind of thing. So I appreciate you. With that, I say bye-bye. We out.
I'll be the same, brother.
Yes.